No, no stall. No stall. No stall, Mary. Hi guys, welcome back to the Stable Machining. Today we're going to be getting on with a brand new project. So, bit of backstory behind the project to start with. Recently, I done a intro to welding course where we covered MIG and TIG. And I really enjoyed it. I thought there'd be lots of applications for use back home here. So I went out and purchased a welding machine. We'll go over that, we'll do a little review and go over some of the features on it. But what I found is, at home, obviously, it's not a workshop set up for learning or welding, but I found that when I started welding, and you'll see it later on in the video, I'm on the floor all the time. Okay, and not only does it hurt my knees, but it's not comfortable. You can't get a good weld, you know. So what I thought is, we'll make infusion. We'll go and make a welding table. So we'll weld the frame, we'll do a bit of machining, and I'll go over the ideas sort of when we get to it in Fusion, but with like dowel locator holes in it, so that way we can fix your stuff off of it. And it's also got to be collapsible and tidy away. You'll see when we go over to the workshop, there's not loads of room. So I've sort of envisioned it going into a particular place and it being able to be fully broken down when not in use and then built back up when in use. So that would be an interesting. We've not done assembly stuff on Fusion before, so that would be really good to get into. Right, so we've opened up our Fusion 360. I do have to admit, I have done the plans already and I'm going to go over it. I feel like that would be a better video than a massive time lapse of me deleting and then redoing everything. So what we'll start with is we'll start with our frame. So the frame we've gone with, as we can see, we started with our sketch. And our sketch with our, everything's dimensioned out. We've got our construction lines, then extruded it. That's given us our sketch. So that is what the frame will look like. And then on top of that, we'll have our plates. So our plates have been drilled out to our 16mm dowel holes. That's what all of these are. For our fixturing, we've got our countersink screws that will fix into our base plate, and everything's spread out, so it's going to be in this orientation. I left this back bit here free, so that way when we get our clamps on, we can have some room to maybe put our clamps here if I change my mind. I've got a modelled, I've got a hinges model under here at the moment, but they will go on the wall. So this is so far what we've got. If we turn everything off here, so with our, this might be the challenging part on the machine, it's getting these hinges right. So there's a 16mm pin that goes all the way through, and it's countersunk on each side, or counterboard, sorry, on each side. We've got countersinks on mounting onto the wall, and that should allow it to totally collapse down but not in use, which is what we want. So that is our model. What we'll then do is we'll go and make some drawings off of that and get on with it. So we've now got our top plate all modelled up. We've got our metre long by 100mm wide, 16mm 16mm dowel holes, and we've got 25mm space in between between centres of each hole, with 100mm to our threads. What I do is I just add text here. There we go. So that's all of our thread. So we'll now move on to our frame. So the frame's a bit simpler, obviously, metre by 500, and we can see it's all already 460mm space in between them with a 76.2 gap. Again, I have a feeling I'm going to add in a central weld to strengthen everything up, but we'll see when we get there, see what we think. Right, as you can see, we're now in the workshop. This is the machine I decided to buy. It's a German machine, as you can see here with the thing. I'll put a link in the description below to where I bought it from. It was very reasonably priced. This, at the moment, set up to do MIG, because I've only got the argon mixed gas. I haven't got just pure argon, so we haven't done any TIG with it yet. But it can do TIG, and it says it can do a high frequency start, so without having to touch onto the part. So we'll see how that goes a bit later on once the table's been built and set up. But so far I've done a few projects, little projects around the house with it, and I can't complain. It's been a really, really strong machine for the price point. No real complaints from it. The people that I bought it from were lovely, answered every question. I think I called them up like 2 or 3 times, just making sure that it was compatible. It goes straight into a 240 volt outlet, so you don't need any three phase, no, do you want a blank here? No inverters or frequency converter, nothing like that. It just goes straight in, you flick it on, plug your gas in, turn it on, and you're almost ready to run, you know. Making sure you got the right wire in, which I did because when I bought it, it's the whole kit. What we'll do is we'll now shuffle around. We'll go over what we've done with the table so far. I did get some video, but to be honest, I got a bit excited and just totally forgot to record everything. Start getting everything prepped, ready for welding. So I've got the bandsaw set up, I've got material marked out, and we're going to make some cuts, get everything prepped up. Right, so you got the main skeleton cut. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move on. We're going to grind it up, roughly put it together to see that we're looking square and we're happy with everything. And then we'll get them tacked, and then we'll cut the rest. Which is a bit in back and forth, but that's how I want to do it. So as you can see, everything's nice and grinded, so everything's clean. Square's looking pretty square. I should get some five. Looking pretty square. So, tack it all up, have a look how we feel, do double check the measurements, and then we'll cut the rest. So, what we got so far, we got our frame welded up. It's had its first layer of paint on. I'll give it a sand next and then put the final coat on, but it says it's weld through. I'm really happy with the weld so far. As you guys will be able to see when we do some close up, but the welding looks really good. It's really penetrated into the part and it's solid, you know. What we'll do next is we'll get our, put this down, we'll get our plates, which are over here. So we've got 4 of these metre long steel plates. What we'll do is they'll go on the mill. I'll set up a jig, which we'll also do in fusion. We're going to drill our dowel holes and our mounting holes to the frame. And then we'll get on the mill and the lathe, make our brackets, and then mount it to the wall. I've attempted to put it on something white to help with the background, but if I zoom in here, I think definitely getting more comfortable with the welder now. there's definitely some nice welds in here, and it's definitely solid, but for my first attempt that one's a bit iffy. But for my first attempt, I think we're doing all right. For this video, guys, thank you very much for watching and for holding up to the end. Really appreciate it. If you like the video, please drop a thumbs up and subscribe if you can. Thank you very much. See you next time.